workshop, we brought together a team of experts in sharks and rays to bring together as much data as we can to figure out where these important shark and ray areas actually are. Australia, we're a large island continent surrounded by ocean and with extensive river systems, estuarine and mangrove areas, which are all types of habitats of sharks, rays and chimaeras. And we also have an enormous range of climates, from very tropical areas in the north through to deep sea, cold temperate areas in the south. So we encompass a huge biodiversity. We also have quite a large number of endemic unique fauna that you can only find in Australian waters.
We had a really interesting example with the Maugean skate. This skate is quite special because it's only found in one place in the whole world, Macquarie Harbour. So being able to use the ISRA criteria in order to delineate Macquarie Harbour as an important area has been really interesting.
Hi everyone, I'm joining you from the Gold Coast. I'm here in Hyde.
Hello everyone, I'm Colin Brown from Macquarie University here in Sydney.
I'm PJ, I'm based here in South Australia. I just finished up my Masters with the University of the Sunshine Coast, working on tiger sharks.
And for many projects around Australia, this scientific data is collected in collaboration or in partnerships with Aboriginal land and sea rangers. And for many Aboriginal groups, different species of sharks and rays are also of cultural importance. So I think there's also a very important cultural aspect to these biological areas that we're creating.
Australia needs to take a broader view, and I think one of the things that's coming out of this process is that take a more spatial approach to management and get away from this one species management system that we've had in the past.
Highlighting in a map around Australia and the Eastern Indian Ocean very important places for the survival of the species, like for example nursery areas that are important for conservation of the species, can be implemented when the government is delineating new marine parks, for example, or new regulations for fisheries.
What I think has been great and very important is that these ISRAs are based on evidence. So it's not just enough to think that an area is important, you have to have the evidence to be able to support it. We're lucky in Australia that we don't just have a few receivers that researchers have deployed. We also have the IMOS program, Integrated Marine Observing System, that deployed a whole network of receivers throughout Australia. There are more than 1,500 of these receivers, and that gave us a really good understanding of the extent of movement all around Australia.
There's a lot of information out there, especially as scientists don't often think to go to. So ensuring that we look at not just the primary literature, but we're talking to actual scientists in the field, looking at fisheries data, talking to different tourism agencies. Those sort of interactions can be really powerful at getting information you need to fill out these applications.
Probably one of the main things that I have noticed is more about where the gaps are in Australia. So we do have all this really rich data. It is in very specific places though, and so there's all these really big gaps that we now know about, and we can potentially start targeting some research projects in those gaps rather than the areas that we already have good data sets for.
It's something that came out very clearly is that research in Australia is so centered on a few specific group of species. We have a huge diversity of sharks and rays here, and most of them we have not much information about.
And one of the things I like about the process is that it will actually stimulate people to actually come up with new information directly relevant to the process of setting up ISRAs.
Being able to collaborate with scientists here at the workshop and trying to source data while we've been here has been really valuable.
We had our data set and we could see these patterns happening of these regular movements, and another data set came along for very close to our region, and these animals were doing the same thing. So we're seeing that this is a really common event that's happening at the same time. So that's a really cool thing that we wouldn't have come across potentially if we weren't at this workshop. There's a lot of potential collaboration that are there. One of the best things is coming along here and realising we've got a lot in common, and we've already come up with ideas for new papers. Be prepared and also be open to future exciting opportunities that are going to come your way.
Put southern filler rays on the map.
Put sawfishes on the map.
Put sawfish on the map.
Put Maugean skate on the map.
Pon a los tiburones martillo en el mapa.
Put pygmy devil rays on the map.
Put wedgefish on the map.
Put gummy shark on the map.
Put tiger sharks on the map.
Put leopard sharks on the map.